Hey everybody, welcome to Obscurities in Miniature. So I finally got a hold of the Stargrave rulebook, and maybe, just maybe, fingers crossed, we might actually get to play the game proper one of these days. But you know what, I figured if we're going to play it properly, we really need more junk from the game on the table. So I went ahead, and while we already had one of the boxes, today we're going to take a look at the Stargrave Troopers. So I dig this dude with his very G.I. Joe-esque Snake Eyes, Steel Brigade looking look over here. His buddy, I'm not sure what kind of face he's making there. He's like, I don't know. Let's take a look at what's in there. So these are the troopers. To me, they should be a little bit more heavily armed and equipped. Some of them look pretty cool. Whether I'm going to paint mine like that or not, I don't know. Dig his kind of 80s action hero vibe going on right there with the mirrored sunglasses. You look quite cool, my friend. Rocket launch pose, I don't know about. He's just kind of standing around, very stiff, nonchalantly. I think I'll blow that up. Let's take a look at the actual sprue. So inside the box, we've got... I already lost count. How many? 4 of these? That sounds right. 5 bodies per sprue. You'll notice that the torso and the legs are all attached. You're not going to be able to mix and match or really modify the poses much there. Much like the Mercenaries, we have a basic looking gun, rocket launcher. We do have a couple of close combat knives. I don't remember those so much on the Mercenary Sprue. Some pistols, that's plus. A few more bigger, more exotic weapons on the bottom. A couple of little ammo pieces, holsters. And what kind of hats and helmets are we looking at? Fully enclosed, gas mask looking, sealed ones. We've got like a mechanical targeter on those. Very humanesque. Lots of human heads. I'm not digging that. Mirrored sunglasses dude, yelling man, slick hair, lady, and either a beard or a ponytail or a scarf. I don't know. Take a pick. I don't know. Overall, I think I'm digging the Mercenary Sprue more. I think if I had to pick one between the two of them, obviously I don't have a crew one yet handy, but I'm kind of leaning towards the Mercenary. But the best part about this is I can go mix and match with everything on the other ones, and even my Frostgrave stuff too. So, hey, we really are going to have some interesting stuff by the time we're done with this. We might have a few monkey heads on this. I'll admit that right now. All right, let me grab some clippers. We'll get some... I was going to say crew, but I don't have the crew. These are the troops. I was going to say croops, and that really doesn't make any sense. So sit tight. I will put some troops together, and we will take a look at how everything turns out. All right, well, we got a few of our troops put together, and I'll tell you guys this. It has been an adventure with this set. Promptly, as I sat down to build the sprue that I pulled out, I could not find the rest of the box. Nor have I found it yet. I have absolutely no idea what happened to it. So I've at least got one sprue put together of guys, and then I couldn't find the box either, and then I couldn't find my phone, and then I couldn't find my camera. So it's just been a wonderful experience of searching in vain for things, but lo and behold, I did find some of them, so we'll at least start with what we got here. So I gotta say, for the most part, this set is kind of boring, and not that it looks bad, other than the fact that I need to clean my models a bit better here. I do like the pose. This set of hands, as far as I can tell so far, is only on the Trooper Sprue. That head, though, is from the Merc Sprue. That's one of the things, when I say boring, there's not a whole lot of variety. Now, one of the things that I do like is the fact that you have fully enclosed helmets for everybody on the sprue, but they don't have a whole lot of weapon variation. Again, I think if you want a lot of unique looking stuff, you're going to want to err with the crew, or my preference is the Mercenary box. But I think if you have access to both, or all three, even better, I think you're going to have a lot of interesting options then. So most of the guys on the sprue are armed with these, just, I guess, rifles. There is the pistol. There are some shorter barreled, like submachine gun types They have a little bit smaller barrel than the others. A bit more of a compact rifle. But I gotta say, even for that boringness, I'd say they make an absolute great set of just generic, faceless bad guy cannon fodder types. I absolutely think these guys are going to excel for just, being the cheap corporate grunts that they are. I'm going to paint them in very drab, dull colors, probably just black with some silver armor, and call it a day, maybe with a red visor. I think a red visor would be appropriate. Of course, I have a alien leading them, and then one of the few heavier weapons. You have a heavier machine gun type. There's also a rocket launcher and a longer, I guess, sniper rifle for lack of anything else. So I put him on a larger base. It's a regular GW base just for some size comparisons. First off, check that out. So if you have Raumjägers, if I'm saying that correctly, from Wargames Atlantic, I absolutely bet there's going to be some fun cross-compatibility there, so you can open up your options even further if you wanted to go that route with weapons. The fact that the arms themselves don't have a lot of extra gear on them, I think is a big plus. Yeah, they have the little, wrist communicator things. I have a painted example of one guy. This is from the Mercenary Sprue. The armor is quite similar. It's a little bit different, and then this guy's got a bit of the extra stowage on his armor. But you can see here the little wrist communicator things. But my first thought is, if you wanted to grab some of these guys and, let's say, some, Wargames Atlantic Irish, I think the lack of any fancy stuff on the shoulders and arms, if you wanted to have yourself a real old-school peasant militia, I think you could absolutely do that. Maybe with some of Fireforge Games, Peasant Rabble, I think that would absolutely work. Here, since this guy's on a little bit bigger base, just grabbing a couple of other human-sized models from various manufacturers. So one of my gripes that I'm always complaining about with Frostgrave is the fact that I feel like everything is kind of shorter and smaller, but you can see right here, I hope the camera stops shaking and vibrating. I don't know why it's doing that. So we have some mixture of printed and plastic models. Dang, that camera's going wild and I have no idea why. Let me see if I can calm that down and assuage it. Relax, camera. But yeah, I think overall they're all pretty close in height and stature there. So if you wanted to mix these in, use them as enforcers, for example, in a Necromunda type game, some kind of a guard legion. I don't know why you couldn't use them as some kind of security force like in a cyberpunk setting. I think that would work just as well. I think these guys do have a lot of potential, for as much as I keep complaining about they're kind of dull and boring and that they're not like, flashy and extravagant like that. I do think that does have a purpose on the table, though. So, maybe you don't need to listen to me in every regard. Grabbing some actual Frostgrave guys. Let's get another lower base. So again, I think depending upon how you base them and depending upon what your final use is for these guys, I really do think that probably of the three kits, I think they're probably going to be the most versatile in terms of gaming usage. Just the fact that they're so kind of nondescript in their uniforms, you can really go wild with the, decorating and, making all kinds of interesting colors and designs for them. And I think, again, due to the lack of, overtly, super sci-fi bits on them, you could totally get away with using them, in a cyberpunk setting, as a guard unit, as just, Star Saga, GCPS. That's what I've been meaning to grab. Shoot. Okay, well, you know what? Once I get around to grabbing some of those GCPS sprues I know I have laying around, I am totally going to have to check them out. And I know I mentioned this in another video, and I don't know if I posted it yet. Another great use, you could finally have that Beastman Abhuman unit for your guard if you have some of the Frostgrave demons. Those hands work perfectly. Yeah, it may not be a standard Imperial las gun, but close enough, right? I mean, if you already got beastmen serving in your Imperial Guard, what's a little off the gray market weaponry, right? So anyway, fun kit, definitely a lot of uses, definitely get a lot of bang for your buck, which is always the case with Northstar's plastics, and they do have quite a few nice looking metal hero units to go along with it. Hopefully I can find where the other sprues were. I have no idea, but at the very least, between all the other boxes, which I do have, and hopefully I'll have posted them all at some point or another in the future, I think there's a lot of potential for a lot of fun conversions and uses throughout the tabletop experience. So, with that said, this has been High Lord Tamberlane with Obscurities and Miniatures, saying thanks for watching, and we will see you back here soon. Bye-bye.